Hello everyone, how are you doing? So as you can see from the thumbnail, it's a complete video on TAT or Thematic Apperception Test. This is the first test or first in the series of tests in psychology. Whenever you are going to give a psychology test, this test plays a very important role. Before going to that, I request every aspirant to just be clear with the full form of this TAT, that is Thematic Apperception Test. In case your interviewer may ask you while you are replying to any of the questions regarding the psychology test that you have gone through. So moving further, we will have an introduction to TAT stories. So as I said earlier, it is one of the most important in psychology. Why? Because from all those stories you are writing, the psychologist makes a clear picture about you. The rest of the tests are just to confirm whether the whatever they have made is right or wrong. So this plays a crucial role. You have to be well prepared for TAT. You have to be prepared for everything, but you have to be prepared one step ahead for TAT. Since it requires a continuously writing for hours, good practice is required to complete the story within the time. Completing the story also plays a crucial role in writing the stories. So coming to TAT. TAT consists of 12 slides of images or pictures. Based on each image, the candidate is expected to write a response in form of a story. Out of those 12 slides, 11 slides have a picture and the last is an empty slide where the candidate can write any story based on his mind. So this is the briefing that you get while attending the test. Those assessors will brief you this. So basically, first thing about this is that in each of the 12 stories, maybe these pictures may be interconnected. Like you may have similar pictures, but you don't have to write similar stories. You should not repeat your ideas. Repeating your idea is a drawmark. Secondly, from these 12 stories, your quality should come out rather than your fears. Every person have their fears and everything. But from these 12 stories, make sure that your qualities come out. And since 4 minutes is given to write the story, make the story crisp and short, adding adequate actions. So how is TAT different from PPDT? As I mentioned earlier, TAT is also where 12 slides of pictures are shown or 11 slides of pictures are shown, and in the 12th one it's a blank slide and you have to write a story. Similar is the case of PPDT. You are shown a picture and you have to write a story. How do you write a story in PPDT and how do you write a story in TAT? How are these different? Take the case of PPDT. While you are going to write the PPDT, what the assessors brief you? You would be shown a picture for 30 seconds. You would be given a minute to write the specification, that is mood, a character, number of characters, actions of the story and all. But here in TAT, you don't have to write the actions of the story. You are given 30 seconds to view and 4 minutes to write. After 30 seconds, you can directly write the story. You don't have to mention the number of characters or the mood or the action of the story separately. You can mention all these in the story itself, like Vidya 24 and homeosurgeon in this hospital. Like that. You don't have to write whether the mood of the person is positive or negative or neutral. Come to the fourth point. Not necessarily a superheroic act is required. Sometimes you can see that candidates have a tendency to write superheroic acts. Like he did something extraordinary and he's being an extraordinary human being or a citizen. No. Here, your personality is being checked. You have to be yourself. Rather, if not yourself, you have to be a practical person who handles a problem logically. What will you do if you are a logical person, and how will you handle a problem? If there is a problem, how will you handle a problem? That's the most important part. Rather than copying someone else, like you, all of you before going to SSB may have gone through some or the other books or coachings or videos and all. But while you're going through the videos, just only take the ideas. Don't try to put the ideas everywhere you see. Just think about it. When in 30 seconds you are given to view a picture, take the picture in your mind. Think what you can write logically. Think of a theme that you can write logically and then write the picture. Basically, you don't have a problem in perceiving it because TAT pictures are more clearer than the PPDT pictures. So how to write? TAT or PPDT stories consist of 3 parts. These the assessors will also tell you. You know what is the best thing about SSB? Whenever you're going to an SSB, you are there when the assessors brief you, they clearly tell you what they are looking for and how they want the story to be. In the psychology test, before every test, a briefing has been done. Like for TAT, there would be a briefing. For VAT, there would be a briefing. Similarly, they would also show an example of whatever would be coming next. So friends, if you understand what they are saying, half of the battle is won. So they would brief you to write the story in 3 parts: past, present, future. Past, what led to the situation. Present, what is currently going on. Future, what is the outcome of the situation. You are shown a picture. That picture should consist of a past, that this led to this situation that is happening now on the screen. Then it should consist of a present and also of a future. What common mistakes that candidates do are either they make the story mostly in past or they make the story mostly in future. Sometimes it happens that you can only make a story in past, the idea that is coming to your mind. For example, you are seeing a person studying. The idea that comes to your mind is preparing for an examination. Yes, preparing for an examination, most of your actions comes in the past. It's not a problem. But out of 12 stories, at least 2. You can make at least 2 stories in which the actions are either in the past or in the future. Rest, make the stories in the present because that's what needed. Secondly, you should not describe the picture. This is also one of the briefings given there, but the candidates tends to miss it. You should not describe the picture. You should write a story around the picture. Third, when you are writing a story, make sure that the past and the future are over with 2 lines. Like your past is completed in 2 lines. Then you write the present in 4 to 6 lines. Then in future in 2 lines. So basically most of the action should be in the present rather than in the past or in the future. This thing you should keep in mind क्योंकि ये आपको बहुत हेल्पफुल होगा. अगर आप जैसे मैंने बोला वैसे लिखोगे तो आपके पास अच्छी से अच्छी स्टोरी भी बन जाएगी. आपके पास न्यू आइडियाज़ आएंगे कि अच्छा मैं ये प्रेजेंट में कैसे लिख सकता हूँ या लिख सकती हूँ. ये भी आपके दिमाग में आ जाएगा. You will start to make new ideas and you will make improvisation in your own ideas. Moving further, there are mostly 2 types of TAT pictures. First is a neutral picture where there is no problem is shown. Second, an action-oriented picture where immediate response is required. First picture, neutral picture that's shown because they want to check if you are creating a problem there. Sometimes you may see a man discussing about something or a girl and a boy laughing about something. The candidates have a tendency to make that they were having a bad time. Then the female or the male, whoever the hero or heroine is, he came, consoled her, and then cheered him up. I don't think that's a good story. The person is looking for your qualities. You can see a girl and a boy are laughing. You can say that they are organizing something. They are organizing an event and enjoying the small parts of organizing the event as a group. Third important thing, you make sure even if only a single character is shown, make sure that eventually in your story it's a group work being done. Because in armed forces, you have to work as a group rather than as a single person. The second type of picture, where you have to solve an emergency or problem, it's clear that what the emergency or problem is. So you have to be that problem oriented. You have to give solutions to that problem. Here also candidates have a tendency, they may have written while practicing a story of extinguishing a fire or that kinds of thing. Here, the picture shows a person drowning. These are two different pictures. Don't write the actions of a fire or how he saved someone from a fire or how the first aid given for fire and first aid given for drowning is different. Try to write how you save the person. Like, for example, in a fire, a person, you can say that you poured a water on him or you use thick blankets to cover him so that the burn don't increase. Later on, you saved him, gave him first aid, whatever first aid you are giving, and took him to the hospital. For a drowned person, you pulled out. How you pulled out? You used a rope to pull out the person. You made sure that the water from his whatever water he has consumed comes out by pushing his stomachs. Then you gave him artificial sauce dete ho, artificial sauce, and then you took him to the hospital. So these are the things that you can write. Whenever you are writing a story, make sure you are clear about what you are doing. You can only, he saved the boy. You should be like, how he saved the boy, rather than just writing he saved the boy. This will increase your actions. This will show that you have a logical approach. Third, it will show that it's not preconceived ideas. Rather, it's your qualities that are inbuilt in you. So, I have mentioned many mistakes earlier. Again, we are coming to that. First is not completing the story. Completing the story within 4 minutes time is very important because it shows that your stamina is low. You have a very low stamina, which can be a problem to you because as an armed force aspirant, you are expected to have a minimum bar of stamina. If you are writing for continuous hours, your mind goes blank. It is not accepted in armed forces. Again, writing preconceived story. These preconceived stories are those stories that you have read in the books and heard from different friends, heard from your coaching centers and all. You can write these stories. It's not that you cannot write these stories. You can write these stories when the correct picture is shown. If you have heard a story of a business proposal or you have heard a story of marketing, write a story where the picture that is related to marketing is shown. Third, you should not describe the picture. As I said earlier, you should write a story around the picture. Fourth, it's not that you should, as I said earlier, you should not write Sumit, who was an intelligent, disciplined, hardworking. You should not directly give out whatever qualities you are giving there. Rather, you should show how he is hardworking, how he is disciplined, how he is intelligent. Your logical actions shows your intelligence. How do you help others shows your hard work and discipline. Third, it must have an positive end. Even if your story is having a negative theme or a neutral theme or a positive theme, the ending has to be positive. Sometimes you can see a person is crying. Yes, the story may be started with negative, but it should end positive. One more thing, if a problem is shown, you should not avoid the problem. Avoiding the problem is a big no. If a person is crying, yes, that person is crying. Make a story around the person who is crying rather than avoiding that the person is crying. Don't say that he has tears of joy. Look at the picture. See if he's crying because of happiness or sadness. You should not never avoid a problem. So, how to write properly? You should observe the picture clearly. Mostly in SSBs, for female candidates in TAT, mostly all the characters in the pictures are female, and for boys they are males. So you have to make that gender the main character of your gender, and make sure that sometimes it happens that a picture or a two has only a male character. There, make the male character as your hero because you don't have any other character there. You can introduce a character if you want. If that character that is shown doesn't resemble your gender or age, but make sure that mostly the character you choose are of your gender or age. Practice well to write in speed. This is something I said you at the first slide itself. So about the blank picture. This is the most confusing part of every individual. What to write in a blank picture, what not to write in a blank picture. They always have this confusion that can we repeat whatever we have written in the earlier slides, can we repeat that? So here I am going to tell you what we should not write in a blank picture and what we can write in a blank picture. First of all, the blank picture is to test you that how much when you are writing a picture, there is a consistency going in your mind that yes, you are writing. So these qualities come out on your own. You see a picture, you write. But when it comes to the fourth picture, in the tendency to write something, you write the pictures in which your original qualities comes out. Maybe in all the other pictures, you may write according to whatever your teacher or your friends have told you. But in the fourth picture, when it comes out, what happens is that out of confusion, you write a story in which all your negatives comes out. So what should we avoid in a blank picture? You should avoid negative stories related to defense, the repetitive ideas, politics, religion, community, caste, these kinds of things. You can write a story about organizing something. You can write a story. Make one thing clear. You can write a story if you have ever been in extracurricular activities like sports or clubs and all those things. You can write those kinds of stories. Whatever you have written. And sometimes try to make those TAT pictures related to your PIQ or your SD. That you are a sports student. Okay, you are very well in sports. So write a story about organizing a sports event or playing a match, going for a match, how well you played, how you motivated your team. Or organizing an event. Organizing an event is an easy thing because everyone can do that. Thirdly, if you are an engineer, write a story on the project that you have done, how the project helped the others. Or write a story of any of the projects that you have been thinking about. that can help the others. These are all the stories you can write. Make sure that some of your stories, if you see a picture in which you can write a story that can be related to your PIQ and your self-description, try to make stories like that. In blank picture, try to make stories so that it can be related to your PIQ. So we will be observing a picture. I want you to observe this picture for 30 seconds. So I think most of you have observed the picture. So we will come, whatever we have seen in the picture. We can see that we are seeing an old man, a young man, bullocks, field. So this is a farm area. So I will share a story that I have written regarding the picture. Dhyan, a newly appointed agriculture officer, noticed that the farmers are still using conventional methods of farming, which can be seen in the picture here, that bullock carts are being used. So this is a conventional method of farming. This shows that you are using very good observation skills. Second, Dhyan first talked to the village headman, who himself was a farmer. See, our past has been ended here. Now it comes to the present. Dhyan first talked to the village headman, who himself was a farmer. We can see that he is talking to the farmer. So it's the present. He took permission from him to organizing a meeting of the farmers. As the meeting was organized, Dhyan, along with his co-workers, discussed with the farmers regarding various new methods of farming, including high-yield variety seeds, about drip irrigation and different machineries that could be used for farming. They also spread an awareness about various fertilizers and manures that could be used. Later on, distributed pamphlets containing information about various loans that could be availed by the farmers. The combined effort of the team helped the farmers, and they were able to use new methods to boost their harvest. So we can see that the past has been ended here, and the future also starts from the here. The future also starts from here till here. So we can see that the past and present are entered in a line or two. Rather, the rest of the things are happening in the present. Next, we can see only Dhyan is being shown there. Dhyan. But later on, Dhyan along with his co-workers discussed with the farmers. Here we made a team. We are showing that group work is being done. So group work is important. We can only perceive a person in the present. But later on we used that person to make a group, as a person is leading the group, and eventually they did something that helped the others. So this is how you are expected to write a story. I hope all of you are clear with whatever that is taught. If you have any doubt, I hope you will ask this in the comment box. Thank you.